welcome. And today's session is basically we're starting part two. I would have loved that we're able to finish the part two today, but given that it's just going to be an half-hour session today, so we will not be able to finish the whole part two. So this part is basically, giving us the opportunity to see how we can make other people like us. And it says ways to make people like you, So the very first part talks about, fundamental techniques and principles in handling other people, right? And it talks, last week we talked about no complaining, but complimenting other people, don't criticize other people. And then, that we'll continue, big secret of dealing with people. You can do this the whole time. So basically it covers, those things for us that we are able to understand. Don't criticize, don't condemn, don't complain. Give honest and sincere appreciation and arouse in the other person an eager want. Basically, whatever you want your customers to buy, you need to get in their shoes as to see, okay, what will make them want what you're presenting to them, and then present it that way to them, solving their problem. Or, I remember I made an instance last week, when you're solving other people's problem, their problem might not require your solution, but you're there. For example, skincare, currently, our company do not have sunscreen, and you have summer is here, you have a customer that is blistering and having issue with sunburn. You need to be able to provide solution to that person, and once they see that, oh, you know what you're doing, the solution you provide to them, even if it's not your product, is able to give them solution as well. So that is one way to earn people's trust, and thereby, they will gravitate to you. They will gravitate to you. So part two says ways to make people like you. So basically, how can we be friendly? How can we appear and be friendly to people? The very first thing here, it spoke about a few principles, and we're going to look at the first three of them today. In this part, it spoke about about 6 principles. So we're going to look at the first 3 of them. And it says here, the very first one, it says, do this and you'll be welcome anywhere. And what is it that we ought to do? It is that we must be genuinely interested in others. I don't know, Dr. Irene, if you've noticed this. I know I've caught myself do that before until I read and learned about it. And then I know a few other people that do that. Now, you're in a conversation with somebody and they brought up, matters of their kids, whatever, their kids is grown, it's outgrown them, especially that's the phase I am right now. My kids they've grown taller than me and things like that, and they are just saying those things. I've caught myself in the past. Now I've learned my lessons, but I've caught myself in the past where I too would say, yes, my kids too. And then, and I've seen cases where those other persons will now, the person that is, instead of allowing the other person to keep speaking, keep talking about their interest, they will now jump in and then take over the whole conversation. Over time, I learned that that is not a good way, dominating conversation, or when somebody says, oh, I traveled, and then they're stating what's, the things they've learned in travel and things like that. And then you come with your own grandeur, even better travel experience, that when in this case, as it applies to us, when you're dealing with a customer, instead of telling them they've been to Canada, but you've been to Hawaii, you've been to Bali, you've been to Barcelona, 3 other places, but they've just been talking about, Canada. Instead of saying, oh yeah, I traveled too, I've been here, and take over the conversation, and then the other person will shrink in like, oh, okay. So other people travel vast this way. Instead of doing that, dwell more on their interest and then make them say more things that interest them. Thereby, you will be able to get them talking more. And as they talk, you begin to know them better, and they might reveal to you what you need, to know about them, to be able to give them what they eagerly want. Here, the author says, I have discovered from personal experience that one can win the attention and time and cooperation of even the most sought after people by becoming genuinely interested in them. So we have to find ways in the age of social media. We have to find ways of being, interested, even on social media, genuinely interested in the other people. If we want to make friends, we have to put ourselves out to do things for other people too. Things that require time, energy, unselfishness, and thoughtfulness. I've seen on social media a lot of people, put out like, okay, survey, your customers, you've friended them, you engage in them. On their status, they put out a survey. On their status, they put out some form of fundraiser or some form of signature costs, for a cause and things like that. Or they ask for opinions. They are trying to engage other people. Now, it is best if we want to make friends and we want to turn those friends to customers, then it's good that we put ourselves out there to do things for them. It will require our time, our energy, and being unselfish and being thoughtful. So this will go a long way. Like I said last week, this book is so rich in examples, personal examples that and practical too, that you're able to put yourself in those situations. You're able to, throughout the time reading this, I could, in my past, I could, envision a scenario that if I had applied this principle, it will have come out, the result will have been more, friendly, will have been more amiable, all of those things. So definitely it's very, very helpful knowing these things. If we want to make friends, we must greet people with animation and enthusiasm, right? We cannot, as we go about our day on, in the world around us, on social media, people should look forward to our hello. People should look forward to our engagement. We have to bring life to all the chaos people are facing today. We have to separate ourselves, make ourselves unique to the point that they look forward to hearing from us. And then one way to do that is a show of interest. As with every other principle of human relations, it's more in a sincere way. We have to show that interest in a sincere way. It must pay off not only for the person showing the interest, but also for the person receiving the attention. It's a two-way street. Both parties benefit. One of the things, one of the ways that this will, come very, will benefit us is seeing the joy we bring to other people, being able to put a smile on somebody's face, and when it's a boomerang. It just goes on and on and on. As you pass it on, you receive, you sow the seed, of that friendliness. It comes back to you. And as it comes back to you, you get lighter, you get friendlier, and it's just that cycle just continues. All right. Like I said, I'm not, reiterating all of those stories. They are rich. So definitely, please listen, read the book. It will be very, 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 very helpful. If you want others to like you, if you want to develop real friendships, if you want to help others at the same time as help yourself, this principle is a must. That is, we must be genuinely interested in other people. That was a fire hose method that I'm doing today. Hello, everybody. I didn't even know it was only Dr. Irene that I'm seeing on the screen. I didn't know others have joined too. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. God bless you. All right, so definitely let me know in the chat anything that's, that's caught your attention, that you're learning something new, that you're taking away from this book, from these principles. So becoming genuinely interested in other people. We must definitely develop that habit, that interest. And then number 2, like I said, we're only going to three of this today out of the 6, because I need to get off here in less than 15 minutes. I'm picking my kids up early today. So number 2 says a simple way to make a good first impression, and that is simple: smile. Smile, right? No matter what you're going through, and I love some of the methods that is shared here on how to get your feeling, because some people feel if you're not feeling happy, how can you show it? How can you smile? But here he gave us a practical way of making yourself smile, which will, in a way, when you smile, that's an action. It makes you feel it. And as you feel it, you smile more. As you feel it, you smile more. And of course, that's another seed you can sow in other people, because when you smile, 9 out of 10 times, you get a smile back. Okay. And when somebody smiles back at you, it goes a long way. I remember I went to the bank the other day. I think it's about a few weeks ago now. I got into getting into the entrance of the bank lobby, and then a woman, a more elderly lady came out of the lobby and was just approaching me. And then I just looked up, smiled, and just say hi. And out of the blue, she just said, I was wearing a green, my green shirt that had some ruffle on the sleeve. She just looked at me and like, wow, I love your green. I love that green on you, right? And definitely that brought smile to me too. And I'm sure she was thinking it, because it just slipped out of her tongue right off the bat like that. I'm sure she was thinking it, but she was not going to say it to me until I smiled and say hello to her. Right. So definitely such a person is in a receptive mode already. If I'd wanted to approach her for anything, there wouldn't be that block that would have, held me off. Actions speak louder than words. We know that. And a smile, what does a smile say? Because a smile is an action. So what does a smile say? A smile is telling the other person, I like you. You make me happy. I'm glad to see you. You're not a disturbance for me. I am glad to see you. So it's really, really, it's really nice to smile and show appreciation. Seeing somebody at the beginning of this part, it was talking about the dog. A lot of, in this part of the world especially, I'm not sure. I'm sure it might be, universal as well. How people love dogs, their dogs, they feel like no matter what, the loyalty of dogs is just unmatched, right? When a dog sees you right there, they're just so happy to see you. when you have a toddler, when you have a baby, at that age, they will like, oh, possibly coming at the door, especially with their dad that might be away for a long time. And they're like, yeah, daddy is here. With time, by the time the daddy scolds them, by the time the daddy behaves one way or the other, or the mom, they might hold back over time. At some point, they might start to hold back the joy of receiving the person. But a dog will always, no matter what, they will, the way they wag their tail, the way they salivate and bring out their tongue, it just makes the heart of anyone to melt. And one thing that I've noticed with anyone, it hasn't happened to me, anyone that said we are not getting a dog ever in this house, it happened to my brother. He told his kids we're not getting a dog. And by the time they eventually got the dog, he plays with the dog more than his kids. And then the kids made fun of him. You said we're not going to get a dog. But now, you're playing with the dog more. It's because each time he comes home, it's the dog that welcomes him all the time. So he looks forward to the welcome of the dog. So that is what a smile does wherever we find ourselves. At my job, at every place that I've worked, one of the constant thing that they say, that I hear them say back to me, either to my face or where I'm not there, is the fact that the smile I greet everybody with, in whatever, no matter what the situation is, that cool-headedness, not being faced with, whatever the chaos is going on around, but always keeping that smile on. People will keep you around for a long time, right? With that smile on. People want to associate with you. They want to definitely be in your vicinity. You must have a good time meeting people if you expect them to have a good time meeting you. And a smile says that, right? A smile says, it's nice to meet you. Even without you saying, it's nice to meet you. All right. Because seems like nice to meet you seems to be, the greetings these days, right? But a smile definitely says and shows that you feel that it's nice to meet them. And one thing that you pointed out as well is the fact that not only, especially when you are talking to your customers on the phone, when you're talking to a prospect on the phone, smile. When you're talking on the phone and you're smiling, people on the other end can feel it. They can hear it in your voice, because the smile makes you speak differently. It's all of those things. So definitely, even while we're on the phone, when people cannot see our face, we should still wear our smile. That's the most skincare. And I think you will agree with me, right? Anyone that has, issue with wrinkle, right? Yes, anyone with a wrinkle issue, the very first thing you can prescribe to them is to smile more. Yes, a smile is the best skincare routine, right? So encourage them to smile more. Definitely, those wrinkles will start with, combined with the Untamed products. I'm telling you, they will work wonder. You don't feel like smiling. This is the part I was talking about earlier. Some people might feel, what is going on in my heart, in my life, around me right now cannot even make me smile. It says then, this is what you need to do. Two things. First, force yourself to smile. Of course, I'm not saying, you're visiting somebody and, commiserating with them on a loss of a loved one, and then you go there smiling. We know that you need to be sober in circumstances like that. But if it's a personal challenge, if it's not, catastrophic thing that is general, but if it's a personal challenge, you do not need to wear your challenge on your face. No. Smile. If you're alone, force yourself to whistle or hum a tune or sing. I didn't know this was the belief of a lot of people before, until at my job, different jobs, right? I'll be at the, maybe the kitchen area, fixing stuff, and I'll be humming a song. And, people walk up to me, oh, you're happy. You must be happy, humming songs like that. I'm like, this is me, right? So definitely, and a way to bring smile to your face is just hum a tune, a song that makes you happy, right? And then act as if you are already happy. And that would tend to make you happy. Here is the way the psychologist and philosopher William James put it. Action seems to follow feeling. But really, action and feeling go together. And by regulating the action, which is under the more direct control of the will, we can indirectly regulate the feeling, which is not. The way you feel is not, you cannot control that, but you control your actions. And your action dictates, it feeds into your feelings. Okay, so definitely, thus the sovereign voluntary path to cheerfulness, if our cheerfulness be lost, is to sit up cheerfully and to act and speak as if cheerfulness were already there. Everybody in the world is seeking happiness, and there is one sure way to find it. That is by controlling your thoughts. Happiness doesn't depend on outward conditions. It depends on inner conditions. And if this is the only thing we take out of here today, it will be well worth it. And what is it? There is nothing either good or bad. This was Shakespeare, but thinking makes it so. So, and of course, here we have to be careful, and not blanket it. There is nothing either good or bad, meaning the way I interpret this is whatever happens to us, right? Whatever happens to us, we are the one that label it good or bad, right? In our experiences, it is us that labels them good or bad. Even the scripture says, right? God makes all things work, all things, good or bad, all things, unfortunate, accident, sickness, disappointment, whatever, all things work together for our good. So good is what we should be expecting at all times, right? And then whatever the experience might be that is not good, we don't label it good. We don't label it bad. We find the good in it, that it's the good that outward bad wraps around it. So there must be good in that. Is a present. There must be good in it. And then we seek it out to look for it. So whatever we're going through, let's put on our smile. Let's in our prospecting, we have gotten no, or let me talk to you later. All of those things, we should not lose our smile. We should not lose our smile. Like I said, a lot of stories was talking about, kids that have lost their limbs and they are still happy. They eventually, find a way to make themselves happy. The value of a smile at Christmas. I'm going to read this whole paragraph here. It costs nothing, but creates much. That is smile. It enriches those who receive without impoverishing those who give. It happens in a flash, and the memory of it sometimes lasts forever. None are so rich they can get along without it, and none so poor but are richer for its benefits. It creates happiness in the home, fosters goodwill in a business, and is a countersign of friends. It is rest to the weary, daylight to the discouraged, sunshine to the sad, and nature's best antidote for trouble. Yet it cannot be bought, begged, borrowed, or stolen, for it is something that is so earthly that is no earthly good to anybody till it is given away. And if in the last minute rush of Christmas buying, some of our salespeople should be too tired to give you a smile, may we ask you to leave one of yours, for nobody needs a smile so much as those who have none left to give, right? So it's not you expecting smile from the other person, right? But rather, no matter what this other person is going through, no, you give the smile, give the smile, give the smile. I think this is where we're going to wrap it up today. I thought we'll be able to do 3, but we only covered 2. So basically, 2 of those principles. Principle number 1, talks about, be genuinely interested in the other person, and then give smile. Wherever we go, whoever we're talking to, be it on the phone, in person, give, even on social media, give smile. Emoji is making it really, really easy these days. Just, dish out those emoji smile. Now, if you look at your emoji history, when you're on WhatsApp and you check the emojis you've used recently, which ones are the top 5 of emojis that you've used recently, right? Check it out. I want you to check it. Which one is the top 5 emojis that you've used? Let me see mine. Mine is congratulations, the horn, congratulatory horn, a clap, hand raised, a dance, and an embrace. The smile, the embrace has the smile. All of it, celebration all around me, right? So what is your top 5 emojis that you've sent out? Because those are the things those are ways we communicate on social media these days, right? So then looking in yourself, yes, then look in yourself, right? Smile at yourself. Maybe we should start with that in the mornings, in the mirror, as you're brushing your teeth. When you finish, spit out the water, look in the mirror and smile at yourself. Start that way. Smile at yourself in the morning, first thing. The last thing, as you do your daily routine, the night part of it, smile. Give yourself a smile, gift of a smile. And then as you go about your family members, as you are hurrying them, get ready for school, depending on the age of children that you have. As you're getting your family ready to set out for the day, give that gift of smile. Smile, and then when you're asking your kids, talking to your spouse, be interested in them, because you mentioned here, all of this needs to start from the home, from those who are closest to us. Let it start with them. And then in our business, we extend it in our business transactions, as we engage prospects, engage customers, prospective customers or business partners. All right. I believe this has been a blessing to you. I would love to hear from you, maybe within the chat group. Drop your comments and we can learn from one another from there. That will be all for me today. Like I said at the beginning, I needed to go pick up my kids at this time, so I won't be able to do the full hour. And this might be the case unless I change the day from Wednesday to another day. Every last Wednesday is their early release because of the time change. So it's affecting them. But once the time changes over to be later, an hour before now. So that would not be a problem. Or an hour earlier, because that would be an hour earlier before me. So that wouldn't be a problem. All right. Yes. Let's go smile to everybody. Have a wonderful one. God bless you. Bye, everyone. I appreciate you all. Bye, everybody.